The Ghost of Nostradamus, a chilling apparition in Provence, 1607. In April 1607, the quiet Provençal town of Salon, celebrated as the birthplace of the famed astrologer and seer, Nostradamus, became the center of a deeply unsettling series of events that would ripple far beyond its narrow streets. What began as a private and inexplicable encounter soon escalated into a sequence of alleged supernatural visitations, sudden deaths, and official investigations, leaving behind one of the most curious and chilling ghost stories of early modern France. The first apparition. The events began when a local resident reported a terrifying encounter with what many would later believe to be the ghost of Nostradamus himself. The apparition appeared suddenly, confronting the man with an urgent and ominous command. He was instructed, under threat of death, to maintain absolute secrecy regarding what he was about to hear. The specter then ordered him to obtain a letter of recommendation from the provincial intendant, an official document that would grant him access to the royal court at Versailles and secure a private audience with the king. When the man, shaken and bewildered, asked what message he was to deliver, the apparition refused to disclose it. Instead, it promised to return shortly before his departure to provide precise instructions. Before vanishing, it issued a final, chilling warning. His life depended entirely upon his silence. A deadly secret. The encounter left the man in a state of profound distress. His wife, noticing his agitation, pressed him for answers. At first he resisted, clearly terrified of the consequences, but eventually, worn down by her persistence, he revealed the full account. This decision proved fatal. Shortly after disclosing the secret, the man died suddenly and without clear explanation. His wife, though deeply shaken, attempted to rationalize the tragedy, attributing it to anxiety, imagination, or some unknown illness. Nevertheless, she confided in a small circle of trusted relatives and friends. The secret began to spread. Soon after, another resident, having learned of the incident, shared the story with his own brother. He too died suddenly. The pattern was unmistakable and deeply alarming. Within days, rumors of a deadly supernatural visitation circulated throughout Salon and the surrounding countryside, capturing the imagination and fear of all who heard it. The blacksmith of Salon. Amid growing unease, the apparition reportedly appeared once more, this time to a blacksmith named François Michel, who lived only a short distance from the earlier victims. Unlike those before him, Michel acted swiftly and cautiously. Aware of the consequences suffered by others, he resolved to follow the specter's instructions without delay or indiscretion. He presented himself before the provincial intendant and relayed his extraordinary experience. Initially dismissed as a man overcome by imagination, Michel remained composed and insisted that an investigation been carried out into the sudden deaths connected to the earlier apparitions. His calm insistence and the growing number of unexplained fatalities prompted the authorities to act. Official investigation and royal journey. An inquiry was conducted, confirming the mysterious nature of the deaths. Faced with these findings, the intendant reconsidered his earlier skepticism. Michel was provided with official dispatches addressed to the appropriate minister at court, along with financial support for his journey to Versailles. Upon his arrival, however, Michel found himself in a difficult position. The apparition had not yet returned, and he remained ignorant of the message he was to deliver. That uncertainty was short-lived. The final visitation. On the night following his arrival, the specter appeared once more, drawing back the curtains of Michel's bed. It delivered in precise detail the message he was to convey both to the minister and ultimately to the king. The apparition warned him that securing a private audience would not be easy, and that he would face resistance. Above all, it reiterated its earlier threat. Under no circumstances was he to reveal the secret to anyone else. To do so would result in immediate death. When Michel later met with the minister, he was subjected to questioning and pressure to disclose the nature of his mission. He refused steadfastly, stating plainly that his life depended upon his silence. In an effort to establish credibility, he hinted that the king himself would recognize the truth of his message. He referred to a prior incident in which His Majesty had reportedly witnessed an apparition, though at the time it had been dismissed as a mere illusion, a mystery unresolved. What message François Michel ultimately delivered to the king and what, if any, consequence followed remains unknown. The historical record falls silent at this crucial point, leaving the true purpose of the apparition shrouded in mystery. The story, however, endured. Whether interpreted as folklore, superstition, or an early example of mass psychological fear, the tale of the ghost of Nostradamus in Ceylon stands as a compelling and unsettling narrative. It reflects a time when the boundaries between the natural and supernatural were far less defined, and when even the most rational minds could be drawn into the shadowy realm of belief.